Hello, this is Bonna Boo's Rabbits and More, and today we're going to be talking about mourning geckos. The mourning gecko is a small gecko that stays between 2.7 and 3.7 inches long, so they are extremely small, which means when choosing a setup for these little guys, you have to make sure it's secure because they can fit through just about any crack. They live a fairly long life of 10 to 15 years with the proper care. Their diet consists of crested gecko food, which is a prepared diet. It's a powder that you mix with water, and they can live just on that if you choose to do it that way. But you could also give them flightless fruit flies, which they love as well. When providing them other foods besides the crested gecko diet, you can put it in a small shallow dish in the bottom of their enclosure, and they will eat it from the bottom of their enclosure. You don't have to have it hanging up high, although they would probably eat it out of that, but your best bet is just to put like a little shallow dish in the bottom so that they can catch the bugs out of it. Mourning geckos do not need any special lights. They are comfortable between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, that's where they like to be at. Unless you have a bioactive enclosure for them, which I do, in which I do provide a UVB light just to help the plants grow. I have the bioactive enclosure that has the isopods and springtails in it, which is your little cleaning crew, so I do not have to change their cages so often for cleaning. They do like to stay moist though, so you do need to spray their enclosures at least twice a day, and it helps with their shed. Another super cool thing about mourning geckos is that they are parthenogenic, which means they do not need a male to reproduce. All mourning geckos are females, and they lay their own eggs and just make little carbon copies of themselves. So everyone is genetically the same. There are no males in the mourning geckos. But if you only have one mourning gecko, you're less likely to see them reproduce with their eggs because it is just typically not something you see them do. You will see them start producing if you have more than one, like 2 or 3. They do like to be in colonies like that with 2 to 3 at a time because they are very social creatures. When mourning geckos lay their eggs, they like to lay them up high into the enclosure, so you'll often find them on the top or on the back of leaves, and they usually lay them in clutches of 2 to 3. Sometimes they will do it in a clutch of 1. But usually it's in a clutch to 2 to 3. Whenever you see their eggs, you might want to try to remove the adults because sometimes the adults will eat the eggs. Or if you have a enclosure that has a little bit of a gap in the door, like mine, let me show you mine real quick. See how this has this little tiny gap right there? I know you guys can probably see my cereal and stuff in the background. But whenever the little mourning geckos hatch, they will be able to fit in that little crack, surprisingly enough. So you will need to figure out a way to gently remove them from this enclosure and put them in something they cannot fit through, something with probably a hole with mesh like a Tupperware container. But they will be very hard to move because they were very, very delicate. They hatch within 3 to 4 months. There is a big downside to a mourning gecko, and it is that you can't really hold them. They are very delicate, so you can squish them very easily, and they are very fast. So if that little thing gets away from you, it's gone. And you're going to have a time trying to catch that little thing, and it's just not worth it. They're really a let's look at you type gecko, not a let's get you out and play with you type gecko. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe and push that notification button so you don't miss another one. Thank you. Have a good day.